Hello and welcome to the Philippines. I am in Moalboal. And if you say that wrong, it's not a nice word, is what I've been told. And I've had people correct my pronunciation many times. People going to the beach, they have rented their life jackets and snorkels, and they're going out to look at the millions and millions of sardine run right off the coast of Moalboal, Cebu, the Philippines. And I'm day 4. I am traveling around Cebu Island on my motorbike, and I'm just leaving Moalboal. It's about noon, and I did a little bit of snorkeling a little bit earlier, and I need to get a new mask because my mask that I've had so many years just isn't working so well. Anyway, this is kind of the main drag along the coast at Bantayan, I think, island, or a beach. Probably didn't pronounce that right. There's 2 beaches down here. This one and White Beach, number of kilometers from here, and it has kind of white sand beach area. Anyway, I'm heading out of town now. This area here, I just passed JRC. Visa Consultancy and Immigration Services. They got an office right there on the right. If you need an extension, retirement visa, marriage visa, that sort of thing, they can help you process that. Anyway, this is the road, 2 or 3 kilometers to get out to the main road. And I'm going to jump ahead here. I'm not going to put the whole video up, but I'll do that at a later time, the full video. Going up the main road, and I'm going to head south, and I'm going to go down to Badian, and there is a Badian island as well. I'm not going to go over to that island, but I am going to go, and I did find a really nice white sand beach down there, and I'm not making real good time. That's not my goal. My goal is to explore. I saw a sign for a beach, and I turned around, went down that road, and you'll get to see it just in a little bit. They've got a number of beaches down there. I saw a couple of expats. Sounded like maybe Germans, Europeans anyway, based on their accent. With a couple of Filipinas and a few resorts down there, but like so many places, so many of these resorts are still closed from, 2.5 years of travel restrictions. They remain closed. And this is the town proper of Moalboal, and they've got a big public market. They've got a pretty large Gaisano Grand Mall. I think they've got a second mall as well, not positive. They've got a hospital. They can handle some things there. I've heard that there's a group that's going to build a medical center there and cater to the tourists, if tourists ever come back. Presently, I saw very few tourists in town, all around Cebu Island, and they're really in a bad way. Until the Philippines drops all of its restrictions for travel, most tourists and expats are not going to travel here, period. I know a year ago the politicians and the experts were hoping that domestic tourism, the tourism by Filipinos, would save the tourist industry. Well, it didn't happen. Sorry, it did not happen. Boracay got additional visitors, and they're getting additional visitors now, but it is the number 1 spot, I think, rated one of the best beaches in the world, white sand beaches, but still not anywhere near what it was previously. And until they drop restrictions, nothing's going to happen. The tourism industry, hospitality industry will continue to be devastated. Anyway, if you are in the Philippines and you want to find some good deals, you can probably avail yourself of some pretty good deals at this point in time. For those hotels, resorts that are open, they'll probably cut you a pretty good deal. There's a couple of things I'm hoping to do today. I'm hoping to get into a mall, perhaps. I should have stopped at the one in Moalboal and picked up another 1 or 2 micro SD cards for my GoPro, because I'm going through this this data on my camera rather quickly. I'll do that. I'm hoping to get an oil change, Russie dealer up the road a bit. Kind of looks like there's some storm clouds off in the distance. I don't know if they're coming my direction or not, but I hope to beat those clouds. If it's going to rain, I do have a rain gear along with me, but don't really want to ride in the rain, heavy as it usually is. And the rains here usually don't last all day. It'll rain for 20, 30, 40 minutes or so usually, and then it lightens up and stops, and you can go about your travels. But anyway, I do have that rain gear if I need it. I will do another video, maybe the next video, about Moalboal, the resort area proper. Give you a little bit more information about that, what's going on in town. But this, I'm headed south, and I'm exploring. When I see a road or a sign that sounds interesting, I turn around and look at this guy. Look at freight motorbike. I suspect that's rice. That's a whole lot of weight. Each one of those about 25 kilograms, more than 50 pounds. Anyway, Badian is just down the road a bit, not very far at all from Moalboal, and I saw the sign for a beach, and I did a U-turn, and I'm going down that road, and it's pretty well paved, fortunately. A lot of times I take these roads going someplace, and they're paved for a bit, and then they get a little rough. They could get narrow, but this was a well-paved road all the way in. I did have a fee to pay. There was a environmental fee of 45 pesos, about 90 US cents. And then I went ahead a little bit. Then there was a parking fee. If I could have parked the motorbike outside the gate, but I parked inside inside of a building, actually, where there was shade. So for 50 peso, about $1 US. Fair enough. One thing you'll find here in this part of the Philippines, anyway, you'll come upon these construction zones with little or no. You'll come around a corner, and immediately you're in a construction zone, and you've got to decide real quick what you're going to do. And I saw this guy ahead of me. I saw him take this side, and there was some oncoming traffic. Took the other side, and I took the other lane, coming back out of there. I don't know if it's if you're the first one there, you get to use the new road or not. What the deal was. Now I have a phone with 2 SIM cards. I've got Globe service, and I've got Smart service. And generally, I'm going to talk to these folks quickly. Hello. Yeah.
We have entrance fee, 45.
Okay. All right, 45 fee, entrance fee. I think it may have been environmental fee. I'm not sure. But anyway, I don't have any problem paying a little bit to use beaches, campsites, whatever. Fee is always relatively low anyway. Some kind of structure being built here. Pretty substantial. Not sure what that is. Government setup of some sort, perhaps. A resort of some sort, perhaps. I don't know. Anyway, come up here, and there's another gate, and the road goes straight, and the road goes to the right, and I'm not sure which way to go to the beach, so I'm going to stop up here and inquire. Where's the public beach? I pay into this?
Yeah, only you pay here in parking for the motorbike.
Oh, okay. How much?
We stay overnight here or not?
No.
No, only 50.
50?
Yeah.
So you park here?
Inside.
Go down to the beach?
I'll guide you inside to park.
All right. And here's the area where I'm talking about the roads get a little rough. Now these GoPros, GoPro 9 Black has such good image stabilization. You cannot tell how rough this road is, but it is. It is very rough and a little tricky. I'm swerving around a little bit trying to find the least rough. There is no smooth area, the least rough ride in. Anyway, right in there, and I'm going to go on inside of that building, which is fine. And the vehicle is out of the sun. You know, a lot of times I'll stop. I stopped at a McDonald's the other day, and I was inside having breakfast, and guy come out and he put some cardboard over my seats. And I came back out, and he come up, and I tipped him. They do that, hoping to get a tip. Anyway, look at this beach. Really nice area. And I got something to drink. I got some water and an ice cream. I was thirsty. And they got a, put some money on that, and you've got a karaoke machine. Punch in your numbers for your karaoke song, and you are set. They had some young guys here. Chatted with them for a bit. They offered me a drink. A little too early for that.
Oh, no. Too early. Say hello to the world.
Hello. Welcome to Badian Lambo Beach Resort.
All right, party time.
Party time. It's sure, bro.
I love the Filipino people, regardless of age, regardless of economic status, whatever. They're friendly. Of course, if you're friendly first, it always helps. If you say hello or greet them, they don't know who you are, what language you speak, what your intentions are, and I have had such good luck because I'm always friendly, and it's good for me personally, my mental health, and it's good for them. I believe we are ambassadors for expats, for foreigners, in a sense. We can turn the opinion against tourism by being jerks real fast. And some people said that that's kind of happened in Thailand, where they're not quite as friendly as they used to. There's a 1,000 smiles, but somebody said, yeah, but most of those smiles are gritting their teeth and ready to kill you. Anyway, fantastic beach, even out into the water now. Some of these white beaches, but once you get out into the water, it gets a little pebbly or rocky. This looks like got pretty good sand even out in there, and it's quite long. I was surprised. Up around the corner up there, you can see some storm clouds over there, and a little later in the day, I sped up a little bit trying to beat them. Big wind came up. I eventually ducked into a Rusi dealer and got an oil change, and then I waited out the rain a little bit. I think it rained about 40 minutes. A lot of friendly people, and at first I thought all these kids were down here unsupervised, but up off to the right, under some cottages and such that you can rent out, there were adults that were kind of keeping an eye on them, which was good. But yeah, some of these kids, two kind of people in the Philippines. Those who don't swim, are afraid of the water,
called Amazing Philippines.
And those who are like fish in the water, like some of these kids. They grew up around the water.
Amazing Philippines.
Your name or your job?
Yeah, called Amazing Philippines.
Okay. Small,
Uh-huh. Say hello. Say hello.
Hello. Say hello, Sean.
All right.
Hello.
All right.
There are a number of resorts down along here as well, and back the other direction over there, there's they had some karaoke going on, and a few places you could buy some food and stuff. Different, like these little, what they call cottages. They're not really cottages in the sense that I would think of a cottage back in the U.S. cottage being a room to sleep in. They're just covered seating areas that they call cottages. You can rent them out for various sums of money. And a number of resorts along here. Grandeur was one of them, Grandeur Resort, I believe. And it looked like it was open, but most of the resorts looked like they were closed. No tourists. Cost money to stay open, so most of them were closed down here. But you might get online if you're interested. Get online and
Hello.
search, and you might find something open down here. There is a Badian Island, and I know somebody who,
Hola.
I don't know if works down in this area. Haven't seen him for a while and don't know the details, but I think there's 1 or 2 resorts on Badian Island as well, and you need to take a boat over there, bunk a boat. And I kind of wanted to go into Badian, and I didn't really see a turn to go into the main proper part of Badian Island, Badian town, so I just went by on the highway outside the town, I guess. But it would have been interesting to go in town, just check it out a bit. And this particular day, I did 97 kilometers, which is about 60 miles. So I didn't make very good time at all, but that's not my
Grandeur Beach Resort.
that's not my plan. I spent half the day in Moalboal doing some snorkeling and exploring on foot, and I stopped to get an oil change, and it took me a while to find a resort further down in Santander. Anyway, back on the road again, and headed south from Badian. And along the coast here, there's quite a bit of new construction that they've been widening the road in many places, which is really nice. Concreting. Now here we have asphalt, but they're putting a lot of new concrete down and widening the road where you actually have 4 lanes in some areas. Much needed on Cebu Island. And the nice thing is you're riding along the coast much of the time, just off to the right if you're going this direction, off to the left if you're going the other direction. A lot of buses run down this way. You've got down on the south end of Cebu Island, you've got a couple of ferry ports. One at Laloan, I believe it's called. Now there's a Laloan town north of Cebu City. And I didn't realize until recently there's a Laloan port on the south end of Cebu Island as well, so don't get those confused. And there's a lot of cases like that where you've got I've had people comment, say, well, I'm from such and such, I'm from this city, and I'm thinking they're on Cebu Island. No, I'm over on Luzon Island or Negros Island. Same name, different place. I had a little bit of a challenge trying to find a resort, and I've said earlier in my previous videos that I was trying to keep my overnight stay costs down around 1,000 pesos, and I did find a couple really nice resorts, even 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 a night. I just went down roads where they said, oh, resorts down this road, or I found it on a map app. Oh, there's a lot of resorts down here, so I'd go down there and start checking them out, and they were either closed or in one case they were open, but I couldn't find anybody around. But I checked online. I think their room rates started around 5,000, about $100 a night, and wasn't really what I was looking for. I need a bed and a shower and some food, and I'm not going to enjoy the facilities to that extent. But it didn't look like any of those places had any guests as well. They probably do some events. Maybe they'll do a wedding or somebody's birthday or something like that, graduation. But other than that, tourism is seems to be a bit non-existent at this point in time. There are millions of tourists. They had, I think in 2019, they had like 9 million, over 9 million foreign tourists here in the Philippines. And Thailand, for instance, has over 40 million on a, I think in 2019. So the Philippines has a lot of potential. They've got beaches, they've got diving, they've got the super clear water, they've got the the high season in the Southeast Asia is generally November, December, January, February, maybe even into March when it's cold in the northern hemisphere, and people take their long vacations and they come here. And I think everybody knows by now, even the CDC has come out with very, very lenient guidelines recently, basically saying there's no difference between vaccinated and unvaccinated. The present strain variant is generally quite mild, and only those people who are at risk, and you should know if you're at risk. You're not very well already. You've diabetic, heart issues, lung issues, number of different issues. They've got a list that you can look up. I think UK in the last year, I think the average age of death from COVID was like 82 years of old. You know, they're past their average life expectancy, and they were not just that, but they generally were sickly. They had a number of different what they call comorbidities, illnesses that they were dealing with. So the average person who is healthy, especially if you're young and healthy, there aren't any issues. So there doesn't seem to be any good scientific reasons for countries to stay closed to tourism. There is, I think there's over 55 countries that have opened up completely. No vaccine required, no mask required. Go about travel as you would normally, and hopefully the Philippines will get on that bandwagon. Now I know that they're tied in with the WHO, World Health Organization, and read an article the other day saying that we need to follow their guidelines, stay involved in their guidance, because I think maybe they get some funding from them. I don't know. So it ends up being a bit of a political deal, I guess. Governor Garcia of Cebu province understood early on that the lockdowns were doing more harm than the virus ever was, and she's been trying to open up the country. She's made an executive order many months ago that unvaccinated people could come in, fly directly into Cebu province, and just have to do, I think, a 5-day quarantine. Now, some people have had success with that, some people have not. They've bought their tickets and haven't been allowed to travel, or even traveled and been turned around. So there is some prejudice in the system. There are people who can say, sorry sir, I don't agree. You know, they're not elected or appointed officials, but they say, sorry sir, we're not going to let you in. My advice is contact your airline and Philippine embassy people. They've got Facebook pages, immigration, and work through the system. If you've got time and money and want to travel, you cannot, unvaccinated, you cannot fly into other airports, but some are having success flying into Cebu. Some are not. So I'm not giving any advice here. Anyway, along the way, I was trying to beat a storm that was headed my way. Started getting real windy, and found a Rusi dealer up the way. Got an oil change done. I think it was $400 for. Took 1.3 quarts. 1.3, or maybe it was 1.6 quarts. So I had to buy 2 quarts of oil. That was I think 200 pesos a piece, I believe, and then 50 pesos, $1 for the labor. I gave them an extra 50 pesos and told them they don't pay you enough. Anyway, that would be up above. I presume he's on some kind of salary as well. Anyway, huge place down on the south end of Cebu Island. And anyway, I'm going to, I'll show you where I stayed that night. I had some difficulty trying to find, my phone got just a little wet in the rain. I was wearing a raincoat and it was sprinkling a little bit. And I thought, well, it's not that bad. And I was trying to use it for directions, find a place, and got just a little bit wet and started acting up. I couldn't get the map section. I could do a search and find a resort I was looking for at a decent price, but I couldn't get the map section to come up. Kept shutting down on me. Anyway, I stopped along the way, asked a lot of people, where is ABF? ABF Seaside Tourist Inn, something like that. And I'll give you a couple shots there too. I had breakfast there. Had good breakfast there. It's right on the sea, and I think it was I booked it through Booking.com. I think it was 11 or 1200 pesos, and that included breakfast as well. And in the evening, I walked down the road about 300 meters or so, and then down another back road down to a real nice restaurant. Had one of the best grouper fish I've ever had. And anyway, they tell me, yeah, they get a lot of people from this resort, other resorts around there coming in. I missed it the first time. I drove right by it, and because it was right as you come out of a construction zone, so you're watching all the construction, everything going on, not looking for the sign. There was a sign, not easy to see, but I went down the road another 8 kilometers. I was asking different people, do you know where ABF Tourist Inn is? And people said, oh, I think it's back towards Santander. So I ended up backtracking about 8 kilometers. And anyway, there's really good corned beef. Not the normal stuff you get out of the can. Really good. The fellow took my order in the evening actually, and I got in there just as it was getting dark, almost dark. And what time would you like breakfast? What would you like? And these are your choices. And so it was ready for me when I got up. It was pretty quiet around there. You're off the road just enough. You're not, I didn't hear any of the traffic noise. You've got the Filipinos on one side. I got up fairly early, but you can't get away from roosters and stuff in the Philippines. Pretty difficult. Anyway, I'm really enjoying this trip, seeing some things. It's going to be like a 5-day trip around Cebu Island. I could spend a month out there, spend a couple days in a few of the different areas, because just traveling through and going down, exploring a little bit, you really don't get a good feel for the area. But I have identified some places. Maybe I'd like to come back here sometime, that type of thing. So anyway, thanks for coming along. I've got another 1 or 2 videos coming up along with my trip back into Cebu City. So take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.